Welcome once again, friend, to the most commonly repeated one-liners in ENT. Today we will discuss the part 21 of this series as the NEET PG exam is very near now. So from today onward we will be discussing most probably two parts a day. Myself, Dr. Naren Singh Chauhan. So continuing with the series, question number 1. It says that if there are presence of maggots in the nasal cavity, so they are most commonly treated by the treatment of maggots in nasal cavity. If there are maggots in nasal cavity, they are most commonly treated by chloroform diluted with water. As we all know, maggots has a phobia for light. If we try to search them using a torch light or an endoscopic light, they will hide behind the uh, carapaces of our sinus. So it is very difficult to pull out them or to drain them from there. So for them, we firstly install chloroform diluted with water inside our nasal cavity. So it acts as a somewhat anesthetic as well as the killing effect on the maggots. So maggots come outside after using that and we can pick them one by one. So the answer is chloroform diluted with water. In place of chloroform, nowadays turpentine oil is also used. Which oil? Turpentine oil. It is mixed with our 4% xylocaine. Now, question number 2. Question number 2 is the Cottel's test. This is very important test. Cottel test is used for assessment of patency of near in deviated nasal septum. If you are suspecting a deviated nasal septum, just put a palm on the on that side of the cheek and just put it laterally. If the obstruction of patient is relieved to some extent after pulling the cheek laterally of that side, then that cause should be deviated nasal septum. So this is a simple test used in old days and now called as Cottel test, and still in today's scenario its importance is there only. Now question number 3, which says that bony septal perforation occurs in. So in two diseases most commonly which are asked in NEET PG exam, there are many other causes also. So we have to keep in mind the two diseases. The first one is syphilis and the second one is Wegener's granulomatosis. So we have to keep the word in mind, that is bony septal perforation. This is bony, this is septal perforation. Now going to the question number 4, which says that which of the following organism is known to cause ozanine. So first of all we know what is ozanine, because in NEET PG you always know they always confuse you with the known terms. Not direct, they never use the direct terms. So atrophic rhinitis is also known as ozanine. So the responsible organism for this is Klebsiella ozanei. Klebsiella ozanei. This is very important question. Now going to the question number 5, which says that most common cause of obstruction in atrophic rhinitis. Since we know in atrophic rhinitis there is atrophy of all the turbinate, but still the patient complained of nasal obstruction. So the reason behind the obstruction in case of atrophic rhinitis is excessive formation of crust. Due to the roomy airways, excessive amount of air enters, leading to dryness and formation of crust inside the nasal cavity. So due to excessive formation of crust and patient did not reach there and cannot remove the crust himself, which result in the excessive crust deposition and nasal obstruction. Question number 6, which says that Young operation, or the newer version which says that modified Young operation is done in cases of nasal atrophic rhinitis. In young operation, we close both the nares and give time the mucosa to heal by himself. In modified young operation, we close almost 70 to 80% of the nares, keeping some part behind for respiration and other purposes. They are left as such for 6 months. This is 3 to 6 months. Few books say it's 3 months, but most commonly it is for 3 to 6 months. After which we reopen the nasal cavities and look for the regrowth of mucosa. Now, question number 7. This is a very common question. Everyone should know this, but if sometimes it comes in PG and you are not knowing this, and there will be a silly full loss of numbers. So, color of nasal mucosa in allergic rhinitis. Which rhinitis? Allergic rhinitis. So, we all know that in allergic rhinitis, the color of mucosa is pale and congested. Which? Pale and congested. So, pale and congested is the color of nasal mucosa. Treatment for vasomotor rhinitis. So, vasomotor rhinitis, which is treated by Vedian neurectomy, nerve of pterygoid canal, also known as this Vedian neurectomy. We go endoscopically and cut the Vedian nerve in the pterygoid canal. So, this is the treatment for vasomotor. This vaso means vessel related to vasomotor is Vedian neurectomy. We say vasomotor, we say Vedian neurectomy. Rhinitis sicca affect which part of the nose? So we try to differentiate between atrophic rhinitis and rhinitis sicca. Atrophic rhinitis involves whole part of the nose, whereas in rhinitis sicca affect only anterior 1/3 of the nose. Which? Anterior 1/3 of the nose. Now, 10th question. That is very important question. Merciful or blissful anosmia is seen. So, merciful or blissful anosmia means the people, we are sitting beside the patient, feel very foul smell coming from the patient nostrils, but the patient cannot smell anything. That is known as merciful or blissful anosmia. In initial part of the disease, patient will think that the people is making mockery of him and forcefully saying that there is smell from the patient. But actually, in case of atrophic rhinitis, all other people can smell the patient, whereas there is absence of smell in patient, which is known as merciful or blissful anosmia, that is seen in case of atrophic rhinitis. So this finishes our part 21 of the series. If you like the video, kindly share and subscribe and stay tuned for more such videos which are in series. Thank you.